Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to talk about rutabagas and specifically an experiment I did with planting them later on in the season. I planted them in midsummer around the middle of July, early July to mid-July, and I just wanted to make this video to document what the results were and how I might change things moving on into the future, what kinds of things I might do differently, that kind of thing. So let's get right down into it. Alright, so here we have a row of rutabaga plants. They are interplanted with some dry beans. The bean plants, of course, have since died off, and we've gotten a few frosts since. So this is what's left of the rutabagas, so I figured it's about time to harvest them. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I just want to make a note real quick about the rutabaga. I planted it at the same time with those dry beans. I planted them, I believe it was in the beginning of July, somewhere between July 4th and July 10th. And I noticed that the beans really grew up fast and created a bunch of shade for the rutabaga plants, which were kind of having a bit of a tough time competing for sunlight. I did 2 rows of beans and then 1 row of rutabaga and then 2 rows of beans. I might just simplify that to do 1 row of beans, then 1 row of rutabaga, 1 row of beans, stuff like that. That would give a little bit more breathing room, I think, for the plants, all of the plants involved, the beans and the rutabaga alike. That might help the rutabaga to grow better. Of course, I could have also been around more often to water them, the rutabaga plants, since it did kind of get dry during that time. I just kind of did the best that I could with the time that I had available. They still worked out pretty well. It's just that the rutabagas just didn't size up quite as much as what they could have. So with that said, let's start digging these up, see what they look like. Also, the soil that they're grown in is kind of not quite the best with organic matter. It's gotten better and stuff, but initially when these were planted it was pretty tough hard pan and stuff like that. You can see the voles are starting to nibble at them a little bit too. No, you can't. Now you can. But yeah, no, these could definitely be like 3 to 4 times the size, but these will be just fine, definitely. But if you're growing these to sell, you might want them to be a little bit bigger than that. Unless if you can market like baby rutabagas or something like that. Maybe that might be an idea. Alright, so here you can see kind of the average sizes we have. Rutabagas pan out a little bit. There we go. You can see them, yeah, kind of. All right, this is about the largest one that I found. The others are kind of so-so, but now they're good. So yeah, this is kind of the size range from a bed like this. These will go great in soup. Might try to freeze some, you know, that kind of thing. So awesome. I should also note for these rutabagas, these were seeds that I had saved myself from last year that I planted for this crop this year, and the germination rates were really not that amazing. For this particular row, the germination actually wasn't too bad, but for the germination in this row, which I have not, before the germination in this row, which I have not harvested from yet, it is it's really not that great. So as you can see, you can hardly see any plants in here at all. Now, this row was planted, I believe it was about July 3rd or 4th. This row was planted a week later, about July 10th, I believe. And so maybe, maybe there wasn't enough rain or something like that to have like ambient moisture in the soil that would help the plants grow and germinate. Also, these plants in this row that were planted later, only a week later, are actually quite notably smaller as well. So I almost feel like planting rutabagas maybe in late June might be the best time for this area, at least zone 6A climate, for them to have enough time to grow and really size up and get established. But I will also say that I believe that the rutabagas did appreciate some grass clipping mulch that I had put down. Helped kind of retain the moisture, add some nutrients into the soil, help kind of protect the soil from the elements and sun and stuff like that. So that was definitely a success.